Good afternoon. I'm Captain Jerry Schiager with Fort Collins Police Services. We're going to start this afternoon ceremony with a presentation of the colors. Color Guard.
Order, arms. Ready, fix. Forward, arm. Forward, arm.
Thank you. You may be seated. I'd like to say thank you to the Color Guard. They always do a nice job in these kind of events. As I said, my name is Jerry Schiager, and I've served as interim police chief here at Fort Collins Police Services for the past 9 months. I'm pleased to welcome you here this afternoon for this special event. Today we are welcoming a new police chief to our agency and to the community. I'd like to recognize some special guests we have this afternoon. We have Mayor Pro Tem Kelly Ohlson, City Council members Wade Troxell and Ben Manville, District Attorney Larry Abrahamson, Larimer County Sheriff Smith, Weld County Sheriff Cook, City Manager Darren Atterbury, Judge Kathleen Lane, City Attorney Steve Roy, and PFA Chief Tom Dement. I'd also like a very special welcome to Chief Acevedo and the members of the Austin Police Department command staff and others that have joined us for this event, and also to the Hutto family that have come here to support John today. That's his wife Amy, daughters Megan and Molly, and mother Frances and brother Van. So welcome. So I've had the opportunity, the pleasure to spend quite a bit of time with Chief Hutto over the last few weeks, and back into October when I made a trip down to Austin, Texas to ask some questions about him and make sure he was the right guy for the job. I have to tell you, he's very well thought of in Austin Police Department, as evidenced by the fact of the many people that have come here to support him today. After reviewing about 100 applications for this position, I'm very confident that we picked the right person for this job. On behalf of our executive staff and the rest of our department, I'd like to welcome Chief Hutto to Fort Collins. We're looking forward to working with him. This is a great police agency that we have in this town, and I'm confident we'll only get better with his leadership. Now I'd like to turn the stage over to City Manager Darren Atterbury for a few comments.
Welcome, John, and your family and folks from Austin. This is a great turnout. Probably one of the most significant privileges of being in the job that I'm in. I get to appoint service area directors, and the police chief of this community is what's considered to be a service area director. And so I don't get to do this all the time, fortunately. I get to do it every once in a while. But John, I want to just say, echo some of the things that Jerry just said about the visit that he and I and Kent Robinson, I think Kent is here somewhere, I saw him. We went down and visited with folks. I got to spend about 2 hours with Chief Acevedo, and we really learned a lot about you. I'm going to talk a little bit about the process in just a moment, but I just appreciate the fact that you all trained him up for Fort Collins, and to mom and to brother and to daughters and to wife. We appreciate you sharing him with us. We're gonna. This is quite a privilege in this community. I always say that this community not only expects a world-class police chief, but they deserve it, and there's a big difference in that this community, Fort Collins, deserves world-class department heads and a police chief, and I think we've gotten that in John. So before I make a few more comments, I want to introduce again, Mayor Pro Tem Ohlson. I know he has a couple things he'd like to say on behalf of the mayor and city council, so I'll turn it over to Kelly. Kelly?
I'm very pleased to be here representing the Fort Collins City Council, and on a personal note, as an elected official, I'd just like to mention that this is the safest I've ever felt physically in my lifetime. Finding the right person to lead Fort Collins Police Services was critically important to the City Council and to the community, and Chief Hutto brings over 25 years of policing experience in a large metropolitan area. He spent his entire career with the Austin, Texas Police Department, starting as an officer in 1986 and progressing through the ranks to become assistant chief before being hired to lead Fort Collins Police Services. And on a personal note, I'd just like to mention that you've now officially made me feel old. The year you started as a police officer was the year I was elected mayor in the city of Fort Collins in 1986. So now I officially, I'm here filling in for the mayor today. But but I do like your choice of hair color. It did weigh in, it did factor into the decision-making process. That's right, and I'm a little part of that as well. Chief Hutto brings crucial traits to the job, such as honesty, transparency, a community focus, a desire for continuous improvement, and also important, solid experience with performance data-driven decision-making. And all of these traits were deemed vital by the City Council, by police services, by the community, and by the city manager. And that's why we believe Chief Hutto is just the right person to lead this organization. Fort Collins is a great community, a safe community, and yet we can always improve. We look forward to Chief Hutto's leadership and working together for an even better Fort Collins. So on behalf of the Fort Collins City Council, we offer you a heartfelt welcome to our community.
So although this is a ceremony, a swearing-in ceremony for Chief Hutto, I want to take just a second to talk about our former interim chief, Jerry Schiager. You all know that Jerry stepped into a very difficult situation. And I will tell you, as he and I have worked together over the last, you said 8 months? 9 months? It has felt like decades. Who's counting? Right. You know what, Jerry? I was a little bit worried that the department would sort of stay in neutral and not move forward during this interim period, and you have by far exceeded my expectations and the expectations of this community, and I think your colleagues. Actually, we all trusted and knew that you could do it, but you exceeded our expectations. And I want to just say here in front of everyone, I am so thankful on behalf of this community. We're thankful for your service. You may not know this, Jerry grew up in Fort Collins. He is a homegrown guy here. He's been I'm not sure how long you've been in police services, over 20 years, I know that. How many years? 20 years. We are lucky to have you. John, you are very lucky to have this guy as your partner coming into this department. And let me also just say, the colleagues next to you, the E-team from the executive team from Fort Collins Police Services, we had some very hard conversations early on, but you all moved the ball forward. And so I thank you for your support. I thanks for your candor and your honesty and openness and your passion to get better. I think it was Mayor Pro Tem Ohlson that just briefly mentioned continuous improvement, wanting to get better. And you guys did that. And I really appreciate it. Jerry, you've been very competent. You've been very loyal. I've asked Jerry to not only be a police chief, but also be part of the city's executive team. And he'll share with you that those are two jobs. One is being a chief, and the other is being an executive advisor to me and to the city council. And you did it beyond what any expectations were. You're fun to be around. I know I'm going to get there, and so I appreciate it, and I appreciate the commitment that Cheryl and the dedication that Cheryl has given to this community as well. So, can we all thank Jerry Schiager, please, for his time? Okay, so just real quickly, I wanted to let you know we went through a pretty extensive process, as Jerry mentioned. We used a national recruiter to do a national search. We narrowed that down to a list of finalists, over 100 applicants for this position from all throughout the country. We used an interview process that helped vet these candidates. We used all kinds of online tools. We had a community panel. We had an internal staff panel. I had interviews with the folks. We had community-wide meetings that many of you in the room participated in. We video streamed. We asked people for feedback, on and on and on and on. And you know, for as I mentioned, I have the privilege of making executive appointments. This is one, John, that was a very, very public process, and I have never, ever seen more alignment on one candidate than I saw in this process. As you know, you met council members and the mayor pro tem and the mayor and clear alignment. General citizen, the general public, people who contacted me via email or made comments at these citizen meetings, absolutely consistent. The community panel was consistently aligned with you as the next chief. The internal panel, everything aligned, and that is pretty rare. In fact, what I do when I have these panels, I don't ask for who do you recommend? I ask for strengths and weaknesses. All the panels couldn't resist. They said, well, here are the strengths and weaknesses, but this is the guy we recommend. So I feel very good going into this relationship, and I wanted to let you know that. Another thing I wanted to mention is earlier this afternoon, this morning, I looked at the city charter, which is essentially our constitution as a city of Fort Collins. We're a home rule city, and in there, the chief of police role is defined. What kinds of things is he required to do? And there's more than any other service area director. There's 2 pages, John. And but the salient points is functions and duties necessary to preserve the public peace, prevent crime, apprehend criminals, and protect the rights of persons and property through the enforcement of the penal laws of the state and all ordinances and regulations of the city and the provisions of the charter. So that's what his job is now. Part 2 of that, as I mentioned, is executive advisor to the city manager and to the city council. And so we're asking a lot in these responsibilities. And then I have, and I won't read them, but I have my notes here from the various panels that that met with each candidate and that I met with personally. And some of the attributes Jerry has already spoken to: trust, competencies, larger organization that you managed a larger number of employees. You gave great answers about your weaknesses. That's a strong character trait. Honesty, knows about a robust downtown and what successful downtowns take to keep, and where failures exist and how we can maybe avoid some of those things. The internal panel, great guy, laughs at self. Would you guys agree with that? Can he laugh? And you, yeah, and us as well, or you guys. The flavor between Austin and Fort Collins feels pretty similar, although size is different. Deeply committed. the work that you guys have done together on CompStat and leveraging data and resources. By the way, great work. You're really leading other police agencies in that area, and we appreciate that we get to tap into your work. Accountability, mentor, things like that. So I won't go on any further. I think, as Jerry said, I think we got just the right guy. I'm glad to have you as a partner here. So with that, I'm going to ask Chief Acevedo if you'd come up and maybe make a couple of comments. Let me make sure I'm in order here. And yeah, if you would please come up, I would appreciate it. So let's welcome the Chief of Austin Police Department.
Thank you, everybody. And yesterday, John told me, I need to tell you at dinner, he goes, Art, they've asked you to speak, but remember, it's my show. So I'm kidding. We do laugh a lot, and with John, Mr. Mayor, I was warning him that John's got this sense of humor where he will make you believe that he's being serious. He'll reel you in, and he goes, gotcha. So be aware of that, especially the troops, because he will mess with you. But I remember months ago, John came into my office and he said, Art, I'm thinking about applying for Fort Collins, and what do you think? And having been to Fort Collins and knowing John's loves in life, which is one, policing, well, one, his family, two, policing, but three is the state of Colorado. The guy comes here every year. He's always on his motorcycle, which I think is crazy, but don't hold it against him. But he spends a lot of time here, and I said, John, I think you'd be a perfect fit. But the other thing I told him was, make sure it's what you want, because knowing Fort Collins and knowing Austin, there's a lot of similarities there, and if you put your best foot forward, you're going to be offered that job, so make sure it's what you want. And he put in for it, and lo and behold, he's here, and I spent 4.5 years with him. I want to miss him. I know that this entire executive team, chief of staff, all the assistant chiefs are here, except one. Somebody had to stay home. He drew the short straw, but we are going to miss him. And I can tell you with a straight face that you have made a tremendous, tremendous selection. And to John and his family, you've made a tremendous choice because you are coming to a world-class city. This is a wonderful city. Mayor, the reason you're here since '86 is because you've done a tremendous job of leading. And Mr. Atterbury, you've done a tremendous job of leading. And I'm glad to see that John and his family's coming to a great place. But I need to present you something from us, John. And can you step forward real quick? And I won't read why he earned it because it's very long. Can you guys come up, chiefs? APD staff, come on up. Everybody, come on. The corporal doesn't want to come up. He's not on overtime, so he doesn't want to move. There's those unions, you know. I mean, if you don't pay them overtime, they don't want to move. But they're actually here on their own time, but we'll give them some admin time. They don't know that yet. But John, what we want, you have been a tremendous asset to the city of Austin. You've been a tremendous asset to this team. You've been a tremendous asset to me, and one of my greatest accomplishments is in the last 4.5 years I've grown to call you friend, and I'm going to miss you. But we want to present you with the Distinguished Command Medal awarded to Johnny Hutto, which is what he goes by, Johnny, or Little Johnny, as his mom was saying last night. He's not so little anymore. For exceptionally meritorious command and leadership, which have added immeasurably to the police profession, thereby meriting honor and distinction, dated this 30th day of November 2011. That's from all of us to you.
Oh, yeah.
And remember, now you're the chief. If it's not authorized here, you can authorize wearing this. You're in charge. One more. Congratulations, and congratulations to Fort Collins on a great city, a great department. And if I could take your police headquarters and take it back with me, you've been to ours. Can I apply, or is it too late? Congratulations, everybody.
So, Chief Acevedo, if you could please come back up. For those of you who are not part of I guess the policing community, there's a tradition of what's called pinning of the badge. And so, John, if you wouldn't mind coming up, and Amy and Megan and Molly, would you mind coming up? And Chief Hutto has asked that his wife and daughters join him in this ceremony, and then also he's asked that Chief Acevedo do the pinning of his badge. So what we're going to do is ask the chief to do this, and then I'm going to ask our city clerk, Wanda Krajcek, to come up, and Wanda will do the official swearing in of the position. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Chief.
And girls, remember, just because mom and dad are moving and you're at UT, now I'm going to be watching over you. And I'm not nice. You ready?
I'm ready.
Come on back up, yeah. Wanda, would you mind coming up, please? And Wanda's now going to administer the oath of office. So go slow with this one, Wanda.
Remember little sections.
One word at a time.
I state your name.
Okay, I state your name,
I, John Hutto,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and the state of Colorado
and the state of Colorado
and the charter and ordinances of Fort Collins,
and the charter and ordinances of Fort Collins,
and that I will faithfully perform
and I will faithfully perform
the duties of my office or employment,
the duties of my office or employment.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Chief.
Yeah, okay.
So one question, can we refer to him as Johnny as well? Is that a, Chief Johnny? We practiced that oath for the last 2 weeks while he's been here, just kidding. Jerry Schiager and Greg have some flowers and a little, what do you call those? Badge. Little, well. We have badges for you, Molly, and Megan, and Amy, and also some flowers. So, Jerry, I'm really going to miss you in this role. It sounds like John's got similar kinds of humor here. Okay, so John, we're going to have you come up and say whatever you'd like. And again, welcome to our new Chief of Police, John Hutto.
Thank you. As I was driving over here, I was thinking about what I'm going to say when I step up here. And the first thing that occurred to me was I probably should have thought about it before I was driving over here. I really think it breaks down into two broad areas. And the first is kind of looking back, and the second's looking forward. And looking back, I'm very, very thankful for the time that I had with the Austin Police Department. Excuse me. Looking forward, I am honored to be a part of this community. From the very beginning, when I started this process, and I started doing my research on the city, and I realized just what a perfect fit it was for me and my family. I mentioned it in several public forums. I mentioned it to everybody I could talk to. Every officer that I've met since I've been here, it's overwhelming. It really is. It's an honor. I look forward to becoming an integral part of this community. You're probably going to get tired of seeing me. I'm going to be out. My promise to you is I'm going to be out and involved and engaged with this community. I want to make it a part of my life. I cannot wait to begin attending the functions in the city. I cannot wait to engage the public, because we can't succeed alone. The police department, as good as this department is, and it's an outstanding department, but this department cannot succeed alone. And the critical piece of that is the engagement of this community. And I know that you're there, and I'm going to foster that and really encourage that. So, like I said, I probably should have thought about this before I was just driving over here, but I'm deeply honored. I appreciate the city staff. I appreciate Darren reaching out to me and making this offer and making me a part of this truly world-class community. And thank you very much.
So I think you've, as your former chief mentioned, you've inherited a great facility. We have world-class facilities here for this department. I think that as much as I've been able to travel around the country and get to know other city organizations, I think you've inherited an incredible workforce out at Police Services. I would hold them up against any department in the country. A deep, deep commitment to training, and some people who really care about this. As I said, this community deserves world-class, and not only expects it, but deserves it. But with that, I will say congratulations again to folks from Austin. Thank you, Chief. Thank you for being available to me, and just your honesty and candor, and to John, to your family. Amy, I'm looking forward to getting to know you and having things settle for you. I know it's a very unsettling time, and anything that people in this room can do to make your transition better, I promise you we'll do that. So congratulations to Fort Collins, and thanks everyone for being here, and happy holidays. Please, if you get a chance to, we'd appreciate you welcome John and his family to Fort Collins. So thanks everyone for being here. We appreciate it.